Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing a layout that I created in my Dilutions creative journal. So I wanted to use some of these oxide ink pads, and here you'll see me going through my ink pads to choose the colors I'll be using today. And I'll be using that color, it's called Wilted Violet. This one is Black Soot. Then we have Cracked Pistachio. And digging to the bottom, I'll find, I believe, Faded Jeans. And then I'll grab my picked raspberry. So those are all the colors I'll be using today. So I will begin by prepping my pages with this Clear Gesso by Liquitex. And I'll apply that to my pages using a silicone brush, and this is from Prima, and it's a 2-inch brush. And once it's dry, I will begin adding color to my background. So I'll be using a blending tool to apply my color. And you'll see the first one I applied would be Wilted Violet. And I applied it all around my pages, but you can see I'm not taking it to the edge of the page because I knew that I wanted the black soot to be on the edges. So I'm blending in the Faded Jeans right now, and I'm just putting them in random places. I had no design in mind at all. And here I'm applying the Cracked Pistachio and blending it in. And then I'll be adding in the picked raspberry. So after adding in all of these colors, I go ahead and blend in the black soot to the edges of my layout. And I do love how this background turned out, especially after all the magic happens, which is coming up next. So after applying all my color, I use my distress spray bottle and I spritz my pages, and I'll give you a closer look at how it turned out. And that's the magic I was talking about. It's beautiful, the effect that these oxide ink gives you. So then I'm just drying it off, and that's what it looks like close up. It's beautiful. So I wanted to go ahead and work on my focal point, and I pulled out this Prima Stencil, and it's called Gardenia. And it's my first time using this stencil. And I wanted to use the girl on my page. But first I pulled out Vicki Boutin stencil to add just a little bit of detail first before I stenciled on the girl. So I used a makeup sponge along with that white acrylic paint, and that is a titanium white paint. And I went ahead and applied it just a few places on my layout, on the top of my layout. So here you'll see what it turned out to look like after I was done using the Vicki Boutin stencil. So I'll begin working on the girl, and I'm using the Heidi Swapp metallic silver texture paste as well as the mint texture paste that I showed already. And I did show you guys that gold acrylic paint, but I ended up using a gold stencil paint instead, which I think I'll show you guys that now. So here you can see me applying that silver paste through that stencil. And I will stop and stick down my stencil. I didn't want to ruin the image by, the stencil shifting while I was working on it. And I would also like to apologize for that glare of my light on the top left. And now I'll continue using that silver paste on random areas on my stencil. And next I'll go ahead and do the same with that Heidi Swapp mint paste. And it's such a beautiful color. I knew I wanted that color to stand out a bit, but once I started using my gold stencil paint, it disappeared a little. Now this stencil was hard to clean. It took me quite a while to get it cleaned, especially in those very thin areas on the design. I do plan on using it again. I just need to be prepared, to take the time and clean it properly. But it's a beautiful design. So you can see the gold stencil paint is pretty much taking over. And then I'll go ahead with the mint and go over certain areas again. And I'll give you guys a closer view of what it turns out to look like. So I'm carefully removing my stencil. And I am so pleased with what this looks like now. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful, beautiful design. So I love how the page looks, but I feel like the girl needs to stand out a bit more. You can't see the design unless you look really closely. So I went ahead and used some of that gold acrylic ink, and the color is bright gold, and it's from Liquitex. And I applied that just on the girl only. And next I'll be using, I actually used the silver ink instead of that black ink. And you'll see that soon. There you go. And I'll apply that all around the girl. And I will finish up with that black ink, that India ink. And I will apply that all over the page. And if you have any questions about this layout or any of the items that I use, please go ahead and ask me in the comment section below. So next I will continue working on the girl. And here you can see me using a blending stump to apply some distress crayon. And the color I'm using is Black Soot. And I'll just go ahead and apply that all around the girl to help the image stand out a bit more. And I also used a bit of white gesso. I used my fingers, and I also used some moist baby wipes to help blend in the distress crayons into the background. So after applying the distress crayon, you can definitely see the girl coming into focus. It made such a huge difference on this page. And next I'll move on to highlighting a few places, and I'll be using a paintbrush and that gold stencil paint that I used before. And I'll be blending it out using a moist baby wipes. And then I'll begin working on my title. So I'll give you guys once again a close-up view of how this page is coming along. So for my title today, I decided to go ahead and use my Tim Holtz chipboard word phrases. and I keep them all together in that little iris photo container. So the ones I picked out says Dreamer of Dreams, Heart and Soul, and a third one that says Use Your Wings. So there you can see me just playing around with the placement. And then I go ahead and I remove some of the chipboard from behind each word phrase. These chipboard pieces are pretty thick, and I really don't want to bulk up my journal too much. So whenever I use them, most of the times I remove at least half of the backing on those pieces. So today I'll be using my Dino Wakley matte gel medium, and I'll use that to adhere those phrases to my layout. So it ends up saying, use your wings, heart and soul, dreamer of dreams. I also blended in some of the distressed crayon and black soot with a moist baby wipes around the title, so it will look like part of the page, which you can see right now, and it's not just sitting on top of the page. And here you can see how the page is coming along, but I wasn't done yet. I am going to tone down the background using a little white gesso and my fingers and a moist baby wipes. And I also applied a little bit of the distressed crayon and black soot as well, and I blended it all together. And this will be the end result you'll see pretty soon. And there will be still shots at the end of the video coming up. So I really loved how this page turned out. And if you do as well, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. I do put out a new art journal page each week, along with other content you can check out on my channel. And I do hope you come back to see more. So thanks for watching today, and until my next video, bye.